Office, and this video is going to talk about SMART targets and supporting learners specifically with special educational needs and disabilities around SMART targets. So I'm going to talk about these because they're really important. SMART targets help make learning goals clear, focused, and achievable. So instead of setting broad targets, which we see so often is in education, like improve reading, be more confident, we need SMART targets that are broken down into specific goals. They are measurable, they are achievable, they are relevant, and they are timely. So they are bound to a specific amount of time. And if you want to line that up with the SEND Code of Practice, well, then you would absolutely consider that through the ADPR approach, ADP, assess, plan, do, review, can never get that in order, and the graduated approach. So that would be termly reviews that are mandatory as per SEND Code of Practice guidance. So for learners with SEND, SMART targets are especially useful because they can turn larger outcomes into really small, manageable steps. And also, they can be personalised, so they're meaningful targets and they're linked to the learner's individual needs, the learner's individual strengths, and the learner's individual aspirations. And they should also be written in a way that supports inclusion, independence, but also confidence. So let me give you an example. So, for example, instead of saying something like, this learner will improve communication, a SMART target could be, over the next 6 weeks, the learner will use a communication card or a verbal phrase to ask for help in 3 out of 5 classroom activities. The target, therefore, is specific. It tells you exactly what it needs. It's measurable and it's realistic. And not only that, it also supports the learner's communication and their independence. So thinking about that, then we can think about some adjustments for supporting learners with SEND. So when setting SMART targets, it's really important to consider reasonable adjustments and the support that learners may need to reach the goal that they are trying to reach. So this could include things like visual prompts, extra processing time, assistive technology, chunked instructions, maybe sensory breaks, adult support, or alternative ways for learners to show that they have an understanding of the construct that they are learning. It's also important that the targets are not created in isolation. So wherever possible, please ensure that they should be developed where input from the learner is at the front, the parents and the carers, the teachers, the support staff, and just any other relevant professionals. So if it's a communication target, we may be working collaboratively with speech and language therapy. And this just really makes sure the target is child-centred, that it's realistic, and that it's connected to what learners feel they need and experience every day, rather than just a target for being a target's sake. Okay, let me give you another example. So a learner who finds transitions difficult, for example, they might have a target for the next 4 weeks. The learner will use a visual timetable and a countdown timer to move from one activity to the next with no more than 1 adult prompt in 4 out of 5 opportunities. So this is going to give everyone involved a clear focus, and it's going to also make the progress so much easier to track. What happens if you don't make that progress in the desired amount of time? Again, we've got that assess, plan, do, review cycle for that exact reason. We can absolutely revisit that target and amend it or adapt it or change it. If we get to a point where we've had 3 cycles and there has not been significant improvement for the learner, or if there's a point of frustration earlier where actually there's a real concern. You have your different waves of need support there. So rather than an already available provision, it might be you're now in the second wave. So you're looking at making those adjustments, but something just isn't sticking. Then we've got our professionals at hand and our wave 3 tiered support. So we'd really consider going to our Senkos and asking them, I think we might need to do more here. Can we consider referrals, agencies, educational psychologist input? But again, that's after around about 6 weeks cycles 3 times. So 6 to 12 weeks on average. Think about those termly reviews. So that's 1 cycle, 2 cycle, 3 cycle. Use your professional judgment. If there are 3 cycles and there's not been any improvement, absolutely go to your Senko and ask them for some support. You need to be able to evidence prior to something, for example, like an EHCP referral request, that you have tried to support that learner to make that progress, but actually it just needs a little bit more. And there will be other videos available that you can look at on referrals where I'll talk about this coming up, and assess, plan, do, review, the graduated approach. So closing off then, when we use SMART targets, well, we're not just writing goals on paper, we are clearly creating steps that help learners make progress, that build learner confidence, and that take part more fully in their experience, but equally the world around that young person, that meaningful, purposeful, driven. It could be an older adult learner, it could be anybody, but it becomes meaningful and it becomes personalised. And for learners with SEND, the most effective SMART targets really are personalised. They are supportive and focused on what will make a real difference. Thank you.